Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this morning. I hope you that are watching this as well this morning are well, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. But it has to be said, we have to question the reasons why the SPFL have decided not to release the final round of fixtures until after the game is played on Wednesday night. Now, the reason I'm asking this is we all know that the top six is settled, the bottom six is settled, so there's no reason for them to hold back with the fixture list. But is the reason, and I'm going to talk about penalty incidents as well, so just keep me with this one because I think it is a lot of incompetence by the SPFL and the SFA. The top sides have been decided. It could easily have been put out today, Tuesday. They could have had Monday to sit and talk about it and talk to the police, and the fact that this is the reason that they usually give is the police need to find out the best fixture for the Glasgow Derby. There are no away fans at the Glasgow Derby, the up-and-coming Glasgow Derby. There might be if there's one at Hampden in the 25th of May. But could it be the fact that they want to avoid a Glasgow Derby in the first couple of rounds because the club on the other side of the city, Ibrox, have several key players, just one booking away from a suspension. And when you look at it, it could be the fact that they're trying to make sure that they have all their best players available for when they play Celtic. So why not just announce the fixtures? Why wait? Celtic are due to have 3 home matches and 2 away. And it's going to be a fantastic end to the season. We know that we win every game, and it's going to be difficult. It is going to be difficult because you're looking at probably Kilmarnock away from home, which we need to get one over. We need to get one over Hearts as well. We're due both those teams a good doing over because we haven't this season. But the fact that they do have a couple of players just one away from suspension has raised suspicion. And then when we look at the penalty incidents, there's been a penalty incident earlier on in this season where the ball came off the back of a Celtic player. Yes, it came off the back of Tomoki Iwata's arm. After being headed down onto his arm by the Hearts player. You remember that game? And we did get beat that game, but it's the fact that they got a penalty when the Hearts player headed it down onto the back. Yes, into this part of his arm. I don't know how you're meant to get that out of the way. But then there was another one at the weekend where the Rangers got a penalty with the ball coming over and hitting off the player's arm. And it was difficult for the player to get the ball, his hand out the way. In the same game, the incompetence of the referees, etc., knows no bounds. And as I'm going to show you on this one, you could see here, the ball comes in and it hits Mr. I think I'm a goalie sometimes, Connor Goldson. Yes, it hits Connor Goldson on the arm. On his hand, and it deflects it onto the top of his thigh. And that wasn't even looked at. That ball, and you could say, yes, the ball comes in from the Rangers player, it's deflected from the Rangers player, but it hits him on the arm. It hits him straight on the hand. That wasn't even looked at. It's not even looked at. And then when we look at the Celtic one, with Tomoki Iwata, there it hits off the back of his arm after coming off the Hearts player. Is it pure incompetence by the SPFL? And then we look at the one with the Rangers penalty. Similar one, but that was given. It comes off the guy's head first. Comes off his head. Well, it hits his hand, doesn't it? He's got his hand up. But he tries to get it with his knee, and it comes off his hand. And that was given as a penalty. It's just pure incompetence, isn't it? It is just pure incompetence. Why have they decided this season to wait? And then they'll turn around and say, look, it's in the rules, you have to wait until every game's played. The game on Wednesday has no bearing has no bearing on league positions whatsoever. No bearing on what league positions whatever. Whilst they phone into Radio Clyde's scoreboard and have their complete meltdowns, the Meltdown FC that they are, and they think that it's devastating. Look, we're not out of the woods as a club. We are, when it comes to it, if they win on Wednesday, and I think they will win on Wednesday, I think they'll be given every opportunity. Now that the game is going ahead, and it's going ahead in Perth, which I feel for the Dundee fans. Why couldn't they played it at the club across the road? Why couldn't they played it at a club just across the road? I mean, how many fans from Dundee are going to travel down to Perth, 20 minutes down the motorway or whatever it is, down to Perth to watch a home game? Will they get in with their season tickets? So who knows? I think it's a disgrace because there's no parking for two sets of away fans down in Perth. I think the game should have been played at Tannadice so that it was still a home game for Dundee, although it was in the ground of their arch rivals. But there's no parking for two sets of away fans to safely attend the game in Perth. We all know, everyone that goes to Perth, you know that there is only the one bus park outside the stadium. Where are the Dundee fans going to park? Because let's face it, the bus park will be filled up with Rangers buses. So where exactly are Police Scotland hoping that the Dundee fans will park? Or are they expecting not many Dundee fans to travel to the game? Because it's not really an away game, it should be a home game. It's the incompetence of the SPFL this week has been absolutely outstanding. It has been outstanding. And the fact that they are making sure that decisions are made once they know how many Rangers players are going to be banned for a certain game. I did say I thought the Celtic Rangers game at Celtic Park, the Glasgow Derby, would be the second game. But if they've got too many players that are on suspensions, well, that's not going to happen, is it? That's not going to happen. Anyway, let's get back to Celtic. Adam Ida has been shocked since he's joined Celtic. Yes, he's been shocked. He says, look, the majority of the headlines when I joined back in January were kind of negative. And there wasn't the warmest of reception from Celtic fans, not like some of the signings that we've made over the years. At the Christmas time, at the January transfer window, gone are the days where Celtic fans would line up at midnight to welcome their latest transfer of a player that's past his sell-by date and just wants to get a payday coming to Celtic. And we could mention quite a few back in the early 2000s. That was the Celtic way, wasn't it? But we brought in young Adam Ida. And it was all because Van Hooijdonk, we didn't go for Van Hooijdonk. I said I didn't want us to go for Van Hooijdonk purely for the fact that, look, he'd been causing disruption at his club, at his home club. And you don't want that kind of player in the Celtic team. So, since the weekend, since the Glasgow Derby, he's popped into a couple of pubs back home in Cork, and he said he's been told he'll never need to buy a pint again in his life. He'll never need to buy a pint again in his life once he starts drinking. When he finishes football, when he starts back on the bevy. It was great seeing everyone back home. He says some people sent me footage from other places around the world. My mate took me down to meet some fans and the owners of a pub. It was top class. It was top class, he said. I don't think I would have got a reception if I wasn't at Celtic. They just think that I was a local lad coming here. But then they treated me like a hero. It was fantastic. He said it was fantastic. He says, I'll never need to buy a pint in that pub again. That's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant for the big man. The tides have turned. I did say, when you look at the form of Adam when he was at Norwich, you look at the form of him coming off the bench, he had scored a good number of goals. And I said, if he gets the same number of game time, he'll score I said he would score 10 goals. I said right at the beginning of the transfer window when he came in. It was towards the end of the transfer window, but I said when he came in, he'll score 10 goals for Celtic. The second half of the season, he's scored 7, and there's still 5 games to play. I think he'll score more than 10. I think he'll score more than 3 in the remaining 5 games, considering we'll also have a game at Hampden coming up this weekend. And that game is of most paramount importance because it makes sure that we then get to the Scottish Cup final. And let's not think that Aberdeen are going to be a walkover at Hampden. They never usually are a walkover at Hampden. It's usually quite tight games. The good thing about it is you've got that big pitch, and we're going to have a fantastic away support because Aberdeen, that big club up north. Yes, the Northern Lights have gone out. The Northern Lights have gone out, and their fans are refusing to travel down in numbers. They are refusing to travel down in numbers, and Celtic have yesterday they went to a fifth allocation of tickets for Hampden. So it just shows you how many tickets that they have handed back at Aberdeen for the game in Hampden this weekend. So one headline that is out there late last night and this morning is one from. It's a bit of a dig. It is a bit of a dig from the captain of the team at the other side of the city. Yes, the Celtic. The headline does read as following. You can't make this up. You can't make it up. Anyway, James Tavernier defiant Rangers title message to Celtic. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Well, you better tell your fans that. You better tell your fans, Tav. Hall of Fame. Clear out the whole defence, especially the captain and Goldson. Oh, please, someone say, but what about Tav's goals and assists? I'll give you some real Tav, the captain stats. In fact, here they are. You ready for the comedy gold? This is fucking brilliant. I'll put it up on the screen now. 34 Old Firm games. Glasgow Derby means 21 defeats, 31 points from a possible 109 against them. 18 mistakes leading to goals against them. 24 failed attempts to win a trophy. No captain has watched them lift as many as 20 trophies. No captain has watched them win as many as 5 trebles. Lost 68 points in Old Firm games. Glasgow Derby. That's the stats that should be remembered for. Hall of Fame, my arse, serial loser, bottle merchant, fact. And on that note, they keep coming. Have a fantastic day. All you Celtic fans, and especially you that's watching this video right now. Yes, you that's watching the video right now. Have a fantastic day, wherever you are, all around the world.
Lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up to